Hey guys, it's Vandy back again for the Card Fight Vanguard deck profile. So if you guys enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and join the Patreon. And let's get one started. Today we have Kagero, Sealed Dragons. One of the more interesting of the group. Yeah, they brought back Sealed Dragons and everything, which is fun and all. But I kind of wish they gave us more variety, in their skills. And it feels like they could have done more with it. But it's still fine. It's a good deck. So let's go ahead and get this one started. First up, we have our starter today, which is Lizard Runner Undeux, 6k base, 10k shield, grade 0 with boost. Auto when it's rode upon, draw a card, then if your opponent's Vanguard's a grade 1 or greater, you get a quick shield ticket to your hand. So standard starter, nothing too special about it. You get a draw, you get a quick shield, it's all fine, there's nothing too good about it, there's nothing too bad about it, and I like it. So he's our starter, because why the hell not? Trigger lineup, we run 4 Embodiment of Spirit Tahr as a crit, 4 Wyvern Guard Barri as a draw. It's a draw sentinel, continuous sentinel. You have up to 4 sentinels in deck, and auto guard. When placed, discard card from hand. One of you cannot be hit on the battle. Standard PG, nothing too special about it, but it's nice to have. Then there's Angry Horn Dragon as a crit, so we run 8 crits. Then we run 4 Mother Orb Dragon as a heal. Heal Guardian, no to this deck. I'm not going to continue explaining why I don't like Heal Guardians. They're just a no to this deck. And, 8 crits, 4 draws seem like a good number. You want the draws to get some hand cards, and you want the crits to go rushing power. Next up, we have 4 copies of Flame of Hope Aermo as a grade 1, 8k base, 5k 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Continues rear during the battle that it boosted. This unit gets +3. Auto rear when your opponent's rear guards retire during your turn. Retire this unit, draw a card, and countercharge 1. So, it's an 11k booster, which is always nice for free, basically. So that's a nice boost, because it always kind of forces out an extra 5k guard, most likely. And, when your when opponent's rear guard dies during the turn, you get a countercharge and a draw out of it, kind of refilling the resources that you pay to use it. So all around, I like this grade 1, and it's really nice. So 4 of Lava Dragon, 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Continues Vanner rear during your turn. If you have more rear guards than your opponent, it gets +5. So that's really easy to get in a deck that retires a lot. And then auto Vanner rear, when placed, look at top 5, read up to 1 grade 3 from them, put it to hand shelf your deck, and if you put a card, you gotta discard 1. So standard look at top 5 ability, nothing too special about it. The 5Ks is really easy to get in this deck because hell, you can kill rear guards really easily, and sometimes you do need those searchers. So all around, nice card to have in the deck at 4 of. Next up, we have Sealed Dragon Kersey, 8k base, 10k shield, grade 1 with boost. Auto when it's placed on Vanner rear, Soul Blast 1, discard a card from your hand, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Your opponent chooses up to 1 grade 2 unit from their hand, calls it to an open rear guard circle, and the auto abilities of that call do not activate from this ability, and if no cards were called, you draw 2. So yes, your opponent has a way to advance their field really early, especially because you're kind of minusing out of it, but they can't use the abilities of that card the second it's placed. But if they didn't call anything for some reason, maybe because they know you're going to retire it later, so maybe they don't want to call it, you get to draw 2 out of it, which is always really nice to get that draw 2 out of, so you can constantly refill your hand. So either they get some form of a plus out of it, or you get some form of a plus out of it. There's no real minus for someone, and it's always a nice grade 1 fucking around with, so 4 of. Plus you get to kill a rear guard in the process, so who cares? Now we're on to grade 2s. 3 copies of Berserk Dragon, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto Vanner rear when placed, counterblast 1 and soul blast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards, retire it, and if it's on Van when it does this, you draw a card. So everyone always loves using this, even if they have no rear guard, when this is on Van, they'll just use it just to draw a card, which is always fine. And it can kill a rear guard, which is nice too. And auto rear when it attacks a Vanguard, if you have more cards on rear than your opponent does, it gets +3 for the battle. So 13k base plus any 8k booster, that is automatically a 21k swinger, which is really nice. And I mainly run this for the on-place ability, because killing those rear guards are always nice, because Sealed Dragons only target grade 2s. So having this ability is a nice one, and 3 of Bellicosity Dragon, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Auto Vanner rear when your opponent's rear guard is retired during this turn, it gets +5 for the turn. So that does stack. I never really draw into Bellicosity for some reason, but that 5k power does end up stacking from all the retiring it does. So, if you ever need a big finisher for the end game, he's one of them. So really nice grade 2 to have, and I say 3 of. Next up, we have Torridcannon Dragon, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. Act Vanner rear once per turn. Counterblast 1, put a normal unit from your drop zone to the bottom of the deck. Choose one of your opponent's grade 2 or less rear guards and retire it, and if you have 4 less hand cards, draw a card. So way to reshuffle your normal units back to deck, or not reshuffle, but send them back to deck. Kill a rear guard, and if you're in a losing situation, or you win it in an early rush, you get to draw out of it to kind of filter back it. So I like Tord. He does a lot of work, and he's really helpful. 3 of. Next up, we have our grade 2 in Sealed Dragon Corduroy, 10k base, 5k shield, grade 2 with intercept. act Vanner rear once per turn. Counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's rear guards and retire it. Your opponent looks at the top 5 cards of the deck, choose up to 1 grade 2 unit from them, calls it to an open rear guard circle and shuffle the deck. The auto abilities of that card do not activate, and if you called no cards, you countercharge 1. So really nice that you get a free kill out of it. And not to mention, yeah, they have to call the unit to an open rear guard circle, so if you play it right, you can technically force them to call it to like the back row and still get a plus out of it. But you know, if they don't call for it, you get a counter charge, which is all around a really nice ability. So basically you're just killing a rear guard. So Corduroy is a nice grade 2 in my book, and it's a way to kind of like filter out the important units in your opponent's deck while technically giving them drive triggers. So 4 of. Next up, onto our grade 3s. 4 copies of Dauntless Dragon, 13k base, grade 3 twin drive 4 skipped. Auto Van, at the end of the battle, your drive check reveal 2 or more normal units. One of your front or rear guards gets plus 10 to end of turn. So, you know, basically, if you don't see triggers, you're getting a trigger anyway, so it's always nice for him to be on Van. And Auto Van, once per turn, at the end of the battle, the attack, if your hand has 4 or more cards, discard 3 and stand this unit. So, that's always an ability I use at all times because I refuse to not stand it because you're not losing any drive checks, so you're only losing 1 hand card. And it's really easy to pull off, and it's a nice skill. And Auto, when it's wrote upon, the ability I forgot to use in the match against, Ancient Dragons or Stealth Fiends, but in the end it actually helped me. Choose one of your vanguards and until end of turn it gets all these units auto abilities other than this ability until end of turn. So basically it gets the restand ability and the plus 10 ability, and all around that's actually a really good thing because that's a way to get more power and a way to get more attacks with your main vanguard. So this is a nice grade 3 to have, and I love having him because he's a perfect support card in almost any deck. 4 of. 4 of Seal Dragon Blockade, our last grade 3, 13k base, grade 3 twin drive 4 skipped. Act Van, once per turn, counterblast 1, retire all your opponent's grade 2 rear guards. All of your front row units get plus 10 for each unit retired, and if no units were retired, you get an imaginary gift force. So basically, kill their rear guards if they're grade 2, and if you don't, and for each one killed, you get plus 10, so basically their front trigger. And if you don't kill any, you get a force gift. And I always like to kind of kill the grade 2s because I want that force gift for more because the 10k isn't permanent. It only stays for the turn and they might not call as many grade 2s next turn. So I like to always get that force gift more because it stacks more power in all honesty in comparison. And the other skill, Continuous Van, if your opponent has no grade 2 units on Van or rear, it gets the original critical of 2. I hate that ability because it only works if they're at grade 3 because you can't grade 3 rush them. Which I guess is fine in an aspect, but why did they have to prevent it from being a grade 3 rush? It was so close to being good. Or they at least could have given this to a rear guard skill too. Either way, it's a nice grade 3 to have. You know, he gets that crit, he can get you a force gift, and he can get you power out of it. All around, nice card. 4 of. Sorry I talked a bit fast, but that was our main deck. Gift-wise, we run 4 Force 2, 4 Force 1. You know, your opponent's probably not going to live that long. They'll probably only get like 3 gifts if you really want to go to 6 gifts, honestly. Force 1 and Force 2, they do almost the exact same thing similarly. You put them both on Van or rear. Force 1 gives you plus 10 on the circle. Force 2 makes the original critical become 2, so you can't combo with this guy. And then Force 2 cannot be stacked. Ignore what it says here, I don't know why it says that. But anyways, it cannot be stacked, but it can still be put on the same circle. And Force 1 can be stacked and can still be put on the same circle. So I always go Force 1 because it's more power out of it, and you combine it with crits with Blockade. But if you want to go Force 2 for another rush, go be my guest. And then we have our Quick Shield, when one of your units is attacked, it gets plus 5k power for the battle. Nothing too special about it, mainly discard fodder for Lava Flow and nothing else, but hey, if you want to use that 5k shield, it's there if you need it. And that was the deck. Sorry if I talked a bit fast, I just have something to do after this, but this deck is always really fun playing. It's the most vanilla deck out there, like, it's not like Razors where they kind of got shafted all the way, but it's not like one of the decks like Tetra Drive where it feels perfectly good playing. It's like the deck that is the midway point to where it has its flaws, but it has its good sides too, and everyone loves the balanced decks. So I say all around, if you want a nice balanced deck that came out of the V collection, this is the one to pick up. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, join to the Patreon, join the Discord, follow the Twitch, and I'll see you all in the next one. Don't forget to stand up, your vanguards.